For a lot of people, Motorola is still something America should be proud of. I remember the days when they first released their Droid lineup of mobile phones and it was an instant hit. What we want to find out though is where they are today with the Motorola Edge 30 Pro compared to one of their biggest rivals in the past, Apple, and the company that bought them around 10 years ago, Google. America, let the facts speak. If you're old enough to know the times that Motorola dominated the mobile phone market, you'd know that even then, they were never really known for their cameras. Their phones worked great, the designs were top-notch, but the cameras were always worse than the other flagships. While I will admit that the company has taken a different approach to their smartphones after they were sold to Lenovo, they still have a ways to go to catch up to the best. While some of the photos look really nice, the ones that have me in them don't. I don't know why, but it seems like my skin tone is being reflected in the overall complexion of the photograph, and I'm not impressed at all with this inaccurate color reproduction. The thing that does impress me though is the iPhone's ability to pump out amazing photo after amazing photo. While we have previously ruled that the Pixel overall takes better quality shots than the iPhone, this was when the weather was cloudy and there was a lack of natural light. Because Google's flagship has a tendency to brighten up the photos in quite an impressive fashion, its photos would often stand out compared to the darker photos of the iPhone. With the sun coming out though, the iPhone has found the perfect balance between light and dark and gives us a near perfect interpretation of shadows along with the white balance. The Pixel tries to remove shadows that shouldn't be removed, and this is why the photos have less detail and look quite a bit brighter than the iPhone, which will be the winner of this photo section, due to the sunlight covering up its regular flaws. The Pixel will be a close second, with the Edge taking third place. Not the most inspiring start, and portrait mode shouldn't be any easier since its competitors are on the higher end of the list. Speaking of inspiration, how about you like this video and sub to the channel to give us some? To be fair, the most important part of portrait photography, which is the edge detection tech, isn't that bad. The problem is everything else that's left. The colors are wrong most of the time, and the photos are just too dark. Why are they too dark? I mean, this red tint is really starting to annoy me because it's ruining what could be perfectly fine photos. When we switched to portrait selfies, we found out that there was a beauty filter that was on by default, and even when we turned it off, it didn't really make much of a difference. Someone really needs to tell the Asian companies in the market that having a beauty filter on by default isn't really preferred. I guess it should be Apple to tell them that, since they'll also take the win in the portrait photo category, with Google coming in second, thanks to Motorola underperforming. And let's get this straight, they're not just underperforming with the software, they're also underperforming with the hardware. On the previous version of this phone, the Motorola Edge 20 Pro, they had an 8-megapixel periscope telephoto lens that could do 5x, and now they removed that in favor of a depth sensor. Yeah, it does do something, but is it more important than having an optical zoom feature for your newest flagship? I personally don't think so. Because of a lack of optical zoom, the Edge can do a maximum of 10x digital zoom, and the quality is quite low at 5x and beyond. The Pixel will take this category once again with a very nicely designed software characteristic that allows them to keep the quality of the photos at a very high level, even at the furthest hybrid zoom level. The iPhone showed decent results with the help of its 3x optical zoom, but will only be able to take second place. I'm thinking though, because at some point, things have to change, right? Well, a glimmer of hope arrives when shooting some videos in the park. The quality is actually pretty good, and does look better than the Pixel at first, due to color accuracy and better detail. That doesn't last for long though, as the shadows set in, and the Edge starts losing the clarity it had in the first video. Consistency, along with quality, will always be the two most important aspects to look at, and the iPhone 13 definitely always shows up when we're talking about video quality. The videos are very consistent, but that's not the case with the Pixel and the Edge. I feel like I do need to mention that Motorola has done something right here, as the videos with the main camera are better than expected. Not to mention they also support 8K, and unlike the issues we had while shooting in 8K with the Xiaomi 12 Pro, the footage is actually beautiful. So when we round all of that up, I would say that the iPhone hands down has the best video quality and is the most consistent, giving it first place. The Edge seems to be better than the Pixel overall for video with the main camera, though it was very close. Ultra-wide video is unfortunately quite bad on the Edge, so the Pixel definitely is a step ahead here, but 8K puts Motorola slightly ahead of Google once more, giving it second place for video. Something we realized while shooting some video footage is that even though the hardware on the Edge is definitely good enough, you're not able to shoot with 4K at 60 FPS with the main camera. On ultra-wide, there's no 4K altogether, and 1080p is the highest you can go. You'll also see the lesser video quality in the first part of stabilization, where we prefer to use the ultra-wide camera to get a better angle. Motorola's ultra-wide video quality is just not enough, and its stabilization isn't impressive either. There isn't an extra stabilization mode that you can turn on like in the Pixel, and the one that exists in the video settings is on manually. The performance isn't that different from the iPhone, and they'll be tied for second, with the Pixel and its active stabilization mode being the clear winner. The Edge does have a macro mode though, quite similar to the iPhone. The ultra-wide lens doubles as a macro lens, and the software prompts you to switch if you get too close to an image. The quality is really good, but the issue is inconsistency. Sometimes you can get really close to an image and have great focus, and sometimes the image just stays blurry. It is definitely better than the Pixel though, and this is seen in an even clearer way during the macro videos. The iPhone continues to be one of the top macro phones of 2022 with an insanely accurate optimized software. This optimization definitely plays a part in the autofocus test, and it may explain some of the issues we see with this focus. The object has to be exactly in the middle of the frame for the Pixel to accurately lock onto it, and it isn't that different on the Edge's side. If you've got some other objects in the background, the software does tend to struggle a bit more, but the iPhone is usually the one that takes care of things fairly easily. Apple is used to coming out on top on the autofocus tests and will be doing so once more, while Google and Motorola will take second together. And now, it's time for a fan favorite, the selfie module. The Pixel and the iPhone have similar quality, but the redness of the Edge is impossible to avoid seeing. The colors just look so off, and I honestly expected more because they marketed this front camera as a 60 megapixel selfie cam. Videos with the front camera don't change much for Motorola either, as this in no way is adequate enough quality to be considered for a spot at the top. Apple has issues with a lot of noise, especially in the lower part of the video, but is still better than Google when it comes down to detail, as the Pixel's footage is a bit darker, and combining this with darker clothes makes it worse. This is why there won't be a winner between them, both being tied for first place.
What is up, guys? It's freezing outside, so I hope these mics are working properly. Jokes, of course they are. This is the mic quality from the Google Pixel 6 Pro, and this one is from the brand new Motorola Edge 30 Pro, and this is the iPhone 13 Pro Max. Let us know what you think on which audio quality is the best.
Windy weather is like the biggest enemy of the iPhone, as its good audio quality is brought down a few notches whenever the gust is hitting the phone. The Edge seems to have a decent mic, but will take second place because the Pixel is once again able to deliver clear audio to all of our ears. To our eyes though, slow motion should do. Disappointingly, we weren't able to use a 960 FPS mode of the Edge that Motorola had supplied us because it records for such a short amount of time that you're not able to fully enjoy the footage. 240 should be enough though. We did test at 960 and it was still in 1080p and had decent quality and was able to capture the rapid movements of birds. I will be giving the Edge its first win here, and second place will be split between the Pixel and the iPhone. Chilling in the dark is how we often round up our videos, and that's precisely what I'm going to be doing once again. I really like how Google's software has obviously been designed in a way that they've specifically focused on solving issues at night. Like you commonly see with Apple phones, when there's a bright light, the general complexion of the photo tends to mimic the color of the light at night. A lot of yellow going on in the shots of the iPhone, and even though the Edge does seem to retain more accuracy with regard to color, the quality is honestly just bad, so it can't compare to the iPhone. For me, the Pixel takes the best night photos, and the visuals are actually enjoyable. Night video is another story though, even though Google has put in a lot of work here as well. Besides the ultra-wide camera, which is pretty bad on both the Pixel and the Edge, the main camera is a stalemate between the Pixel and the iPhone, which leaves the iPhone the winner of the video section at night, and that will result in an overall tie between Google and Apple for the night category. Another great comparison has come to an end, and as we take a look at the standings, we see that the Motorola Edge 30 Pro will be coming in third place with 20 points. The Pixel 6 Pro, which is often praised to be battling against the giants at a lower price tag, will get 25 points, while the iPhone, reliable as ever, will be winning this competition with 28 points. It would be much appreciated if you could like this video and also subscribe to our channel. Enjoy your day, guys, and see you in the next video.